in the head of Mr. Zuma. But we can indicate that we have made approaches to the NK party for the record, for colleagues in the media to note that when we do get responded to, or if we do get responded to, we would then do exactly as we've done with other parties.
The ANC has broken their silence for the first time ever since the announcement of the IEC results. Sitting at an ANC-NEC meeting, the ANC has just pushed for a national government of unity, which is just a coalition between all political parties. And the last time we heard of such was when Nelson Mandela was the president and the deputy president was F.W. de Klerk. Now, the ANC is pushing for a national government of unity because they realize that they don't have a majority. And if one just have to explain it easy, it would just be a coalition government of all political parties involved. And this is normally done in such of national emergency or if there is a war. But in this case, the ANC has no choice because their back is against the wall.
The ANC has reached out to everyone, literally everyone, and is continuing to reach out to everyone in a very short space of time because, as we say in our statement, we don't want to have an information vacuum and a situation where, as we've seen it elsewhere in other democracies, where you have a very long wait before there's certainty about how government is being constituted in circumstances such as the ones that we're having. So you can applaud us for, at least you can applaud us for the fact that we've immediately initiated conversations with not just like-minded parties. At this point, we're not dealing with that notion, we're engaging everyone. Of course, we're engaging everyone on the basis of our values and our principles and our policy positions. And when the National Executive Committee meets tomorrow, it will consider all of those fundamentals that we need to take into account in deciding on who forms part of that government of national unity. I'm not in a position to speculate what the final outcome or final decision of the National Executive Committee.
The spokesperson announced that the ANC is speaking with different parties, including the EFF, the DA, the MK party, which unfortunately has not given them an answer, or it did not come back to them since the ANC has reached out. They've also spoken to the IFP and the Patriotic Alliance to see if they can agree on a common goal of governing. And if you look at it, the most important thing for the ANC is not to lose power, because the ANC has 159 seats in parliament, the DAS has 87, the MK has 58, the EFF has 39, the IFP with 17, and the Patriotic Alliance has 9 seats. So the ANC is currently speaking to these political parties to see if they can come to an agreement that is going to work for all of them. Obviously, they are not going to have the same share of position in terms of government, but whatever positions that will be allocated, it's going to be based on the seats they have in parliament. And unfortunately for the ANC, there's nothing else they can do. It's either they go to the DA, which a majority of ANC supporters and also some of the leaders in the ANC are not agreeing to the coalition of DA. And the DA also is saying that we are not going to be agreeing to a coalition when other parties are involved. The DA wants to work with the ANC. And as for the ANC, there's some part of a group in the ANC who would like to work with the DA, but the majority is rejecting the DA at all costs, which leaves them to trying to work with the rest of them and actually going to Zuma, going as far as reaching out to Zuma to say that we would like MK Party to be part of us. Because anyway, in KZN, they might need each other. But Zuma is not replying to Ramaphosa. Zuma probably doesn't want to work with the ANC when Ramaphosa is part of the team. Because Zuma has just made it clear from the onset that what I don't want to do is to work with Ramaphosa. So are they going to allow each other's ego to stand in their way and not form that national government of unity? Or is Ramaphosa going to peacefully just exit the team so that the rest of them can work? Because as for the DA, Many of the people, many of the leaders do not see DA as a party that they can work with. Now, what they would do is to work together. If you look at it, the National Government of Unity would easily work if the ANC, the EFF, the Patriotic Alliance, and the MK all come into the party. And they're all going to say that let us reject the Democratic Alliance, because a lot of people are not going to be happy if we include the DA in part of our scheme, which I would think that Ramaphosa and some of the people would feel like rejecting the DA would be unfair to them because they have achieved a decent amount of percentages. Now it would be good for them to form part of the government. But now to do this, they need Umkhonto weSizwe party. And at the moment, Umkhonto weSizwe party is leaving them hanging because obviously there are some things in the ANC or in that part of the unity that the Umkhonto weSizwe doesn't agree with. Currently, MK party is busy trying to reach out to the IEC and the parliament to say that we are not satisfied with the results. We are not ready to constitute government because of the fact that we feel like there was some rigging in the IEC and they were unfair. The rest of the parties are saying that let us continue. But the MK at the moment, they want everything to be settled and they want to be satisfied, while Ramaphosa and ANC saying that Zuma, forget about what IEC did. Let us constitute a government consisting of everybody and let us have, all of us, let us have a share. As the ANC having a bigger share, they're probably going to be pushing for Ramaphosa to be president. That is where MK party is not coming to the party, because MK would not want to be led by Ramaphosa. They want Ramaphosa to stand aside so that there could be agreement between them. There could be agreement on who could be the president. It doesn't matter who becomes the president, but what matters is that Ramaphosa would not be part of that government of unity. And you look at it, it is going to be a very complex situation for them, because if you look at it, the DA, which is like the only party that is on the side, and the rest of them agree with each other, except for the fact that they don't really like the DA. Now, to work together as a unit, it would need all of them to have an equal amount of feelings, where no one is being sidelined or the other is being favored more than the others. Now, the DA would not really feel comfortable to be working with the rest of the parties. The DA is looking for the ANC so that they can have a government between themselves. The ANC sitting at 40 and the DA sitting at 22, it is going to be easy for them to work on 60%. But the ANC does not want to betray their supporters, their struggle, and their cause. So the only thing for them would be to satisfy all the people and do a government of national unity. The question is it going to work? We have seen how coalition can be a problem. Now you have all these leaders wanting to do the same thing that Nelson Mandela did. But at this point, it is not because we are coming from a war. It is not because there is a national emergency. It is because the ANC, for the first time ever, they failed to get a majority. Now, by failing, they have to really go back and say that we are willing to work with you. But for the people of South Africa, is the RAND going to accommodate a national government of unity? Are the business going to accommodate it? And if they do, are the political parties going to have a mutual agreement for the better benefit of people of South Africa? The ANC tomorrow will be doing a media briefing so that they can update the people on who's really into the party and who's not, and what is the next step in terms of the national government of unity. And do not forget, as much as the ANC is pushing for that, the rest of the party can go for such a national government of unity, excluding the ANC. Even if they agree on that and exclude the ANC, it is still going to work because the ANC is sitting on 40%. The rest of the political parties, they can come together to do 60%, which means they are going to put ANC to the side. A very, very complex, but all political party and their leaders, they don't have time. Are they going to let ego stand in the way of a coalition? Or are two parties ANC and DA going to agree with each other. As of now, Jacob Zuma says that, hold on, ANC, I'm not negotiating with you because I feel like you are not ready to speak to me as you have Ramaphosa as your leader. Put him aside and we can sit down and negotiate. Anyway, guys, we wait tomorrow to hear what the ANC would be saying, and hopefully we get to a conclusion